All right, so welcome back. This is going to be a lot of different things, mainly because I just want to experiment and then ultimately get to where I can remote connect to this older Intel NUC that you are seeing the desktop of right now. And I want to connect to it over cellular. And we're going to try and use an EPIC sidekick that's in it that I've built an open source firmware for. It essentially acts like a Pluto SDR. And then we're going to run GR-NRSC5 on it, hopefully, transmit, and then on a local computer, we will run the RTLSDR v4, the NRSC receiver. And honestly, I just thought it was pretty cool to try all these different things out. And so I'll go slowly through. And so there may be a little bit for everyone here that wants to get into this software defined radio, remote connectivity, so on and so forth. So, all right, so what you see up on the screen now is the desktop of the Intel NUC that I actually have plugged into a monitor so I can kind of see what's going on. It is hard connected to an Ethernet connection right now, and I'm just VNC'd to it. But here in a second, I'm going to hopefully get everything set up to where I can just SSH into it over cellular after we get everything that we need to get set up with GNU Radio. All right, so this is the cell hat here that I have on it, and then there is a Tmobile SIM card in it with some data on it, hopefully. And what I've done here is I've got this SIMCOM WAN setup. I just kind of forked it a while back and made some minor changes to it, so it's a service that will get installed here on the remote end. There's a lot of directions on the README, but really just kind of scroll down, and we're just looking at up under the 4G connection and installing as a systemd service. So change directory, make this executable. Not really worried about all the other ones, but so we want to install it. Yep. You run and then start the service, or to enable, I should say. We'll enable it. SIMCOM WWN 0, I think. Oh, okay, I'll make a change there. So, how to enable unit? Check that later. But before I enable it and change over, let's get the latest. So GR-NRSC5 is in DragonOS, but I want to pull down the latest. And, ideally, you'd probably uninstall what's in Dragon by going into the user source GR-NRSC5 directory. You could run, the whole CMake process, make install, then uninstall, because I forgot to install that one as a package. But I found that just installing over top seemed to be fine. So let's come in here and do our normal building. And because I'm not in user source, not having to use sudo at the moment. So we'll throw, probably only have 4 cores, if that, maybe on that Intel NUC. So we'll build this, and I guess I'll show too while this is building. We'll do a SOAPy util -- find. And there we go. We've got our sidekick. You can SSH it at root at 192.168.2.1. And I did that before. Let me see. Let me get rid of this key here. And what is it? Analog should be. So there we go, sidekick. All right, exit out of there. Let's see, we're still building. Now the reason why I'm doing this, I was kind of interested because the newer GR-NRSC5, you can push it images, and if I took a little bit of time, you could probably make a Python script to push and change the title and the author. But I thought, oh, it'd be interesting to do that over a remote cellular connection. Oh, the other thing too, while this is installing or building, so what I've done to the remote Intel NUC so far is I installed TailScale. It's a free service. I thought I'd give it a try. Installed TailScale on both the remote and then the local end, which I'll jump over to my desktop here in a second. And then you have to, activate that service so that the devices can communicate with one another, kind of, through a VPN-like service. I installed OpenSSH server on the remote end on the Intel NUC, and then that's just the IP address that TailScale has given it, and that I should be able to SSH here in a little bit here. So let's see. And I may have just killed the thing. Oof, okay. So I probably used up a lot of its resources. Okay. Or we could do check install. Maybe I'll do that later and make a deb package. Do our sudo ld config. Okay. We'll go up a directory and into apps. And let me see. GNU Radio Companion HD. Let's look at the hackRF GRC. And let's see. Think about this a second. So I'll just go ahead and point it right to where the wave file is at. Let's see what else we got. Come down here, sample mono. I'm sure it was fine the way it was, but let's see. And that's there. Let's see, album art. So 52004. So this is where we're going to connect, hopefully remotely. Yeah, let's see. So we'll do that remotely. And then this is where we could set up and change the title and the artist. What else? Let's look for Pluto. Let's do a Pluto SDR sync. Okay, I'm back. I cut a piece out. I have to come back to using the EPIC in this case. Maybe we'll use it for something else during this video, but just temporarily, I've switched back to the Osmocom sync, which is interfacing with the hackRF, which is actually in a PortaPack in hackRF mode. So I didn't want to start all over again. Everything applies that I have talked to up until the piece that I cut out with the Pluto portion. We're back to just the Osmocom sync, and so I'll demonstrate. The only thing that I changed was the frequency to 90.5. We've got some settings changed on the RF gain and BB gain. And so if I play this and I come back over to the local side, open up as a test, let's see, SIGDigger. So there we go. We've got that signal that's playing through the flow graph from the GR-NRSC5, but we need to go a step further and decode and all that stuff. So let's stop this. We see this is working for now. Come back over to the remote NUC here, and we should have generated that Python file so that we can run this headless, because there's no, it doesn't have to have a GUI running. Okay, that should take care of that. So let me think. What we need to do now is make sure that we can reach this over cellular. Okay, so what we got to do? Okay, we'll start the service. It doesn't seem to like that let me see. Might need to take that 0 at the end. Let's see. Disabled, deconfigured. It's ready for an IP address. Discover. just unplugged it. I plugged it back in. The cell hat, that is. Let's see what we got here. Now I literally just added some credit to this, and I actually did that while it was plugged in over the phone, so it may have just that I needed to unplug and plug it back in to, I don't know, initiate whatever with T-Mobile. But looks like I've got a blinky light now. I'm going to unplug the Ethernet cord. And I'm checking, so I've lost the VNC connection, but let's see. I know you couldn't see all that, but it may have just been getting things kind of connected back up. Okay, so let's disconnect from her. Okay. Let me try an SSH over to the Intel NUC over the cell hat. Okay, good. All right. So, let's see. Okay. If you're with me this long, and I'll apologize, we got a lot of stuff going on here, but now back on this end, what I want to do is I want to get, again, DragonOS has NRSC5 for the RTLSDR, but I want to get the latest. So now I'm back on my desktop, which is local and actually plugged into the internet. And we'll make directory build, change directory build, cmake ... And then let's throw some cores at this. We're going to build this. While that is building, this is going to be the NRSC5 receiver for the RTLSDR. Yep. And then let's grab, I know there's another GUI, but let's just grab this GUI, the NRSC5 GUI. So NRSC5, the receiver built. Let's do sudo make installs fine for now. Sudo ld config. Okay, that should take care of that. We'll come up two directories. We'll do a git clone of the NRSC5 GUI. Probably should blow this up a little bit. Maybe not that much. Whatever. Let's change into the GUI. Let me think. The other thing we're going to need is actually going to need is GR-NRSC5. We'll need it on this end too, just for the purposes of his one Python file. Let's see, git clone. And we'll open up one more directory. where's that at? Apps. And if we have a look at the send album art PY, we just need, okay, so we'll just change the host and the file name, lot ID. Okay, so I'll explain that here in a second. So we need that. We've got this. Let's see. So the NRSC5 GUI will use the NRSC5 binary, so Python 3 underscore GUI. And we're going to change this to, let's say 90.5. Should be fine, and it will use the, you'll see it down here, it'll use the RTLSDR, or it should. See, the version 4 blog, yep. Okay. So, alright, so let's say we had this remote Intel NUC out there, and what do I want to do? I want to, well, SSH Dragon at 100.81.202.108. Okay, good. Now this is going over cellular. And let me see, I might not have the greatest reception here, unfortunately. Come on. Come on. Oh, there we go. We're going to change into where we should have generated that Python file. Python 3 HD TX hackRF PY. Oop, nope, I don't want that one. Where did we save that? Where did we save that? Let's see. Loading. Okay, so generating. Alright, I think we just needed to generate it again. Let's try that again. Maybe it's just, let's see. Let's check something here. Huh. That's interesting. So why HD generating apps? I'm just going to delete that SOAPy sync. Let's see. Save. I'm over on the Intel NUC side. Let me check again here. The only thing I could think of, let's see this. Oh, I see what happened. The hackRF dropped out of hackRF mode. It's interesting. On the PortaPack, that is. So now let's run this. There we go. Okay, so hackRF is going remotely. Let's check out our NRSC5 GUI, and we can open up. Let's see, where's our terminal at here? We'll see if we can get a sync. There we go. So we've got okay. Okay, so there we go. That's from our remote Intel NUC cellular, us local with an RTLv4 receiving that. And then, okay, so now what I want to do is, so now I want to send this album art. And let's see how we're going to do this. So we need to enter host of, let's see, 100.81.202.108 port should be default. And let's send this album art G, and then we'll just give it an ID of 1. Let's see what happens here. So we could also push and change the title and the artist remotely for information there. But let's see what this picture does. Oop, lot ID. Oh, lot ID first. Okay, so we'll go 1. And I'm assuming you can hear this soothing music playing. Let's push that album art, and we'll pay attention here. There we go. Okay, so all of that to change the album art on GR-NRSC5 over a cellular connection to a remote Intel NUC, which is transmitting with the hackRF PortaPack. Okay, well, anyways, we changed the album art, and I'll come back and use the EPIC SDR, the Pluto stuff in another video. I think we hit a lot of things in this one, so thanks for bearing with me.